Hey, good evening, everybody. For an administration that is trying to put out the Epstein story fire, they've certainly gone a strange way about it. They have ratcheted it up through the roof, folks, by subpoenaing huge names. The biggest of all, the heads of the Clinton crime family. Yes, would you believe it? They've gone as far as to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton. Dun, dun, dun. Epstein's story grows every single day. So, U.S. House panel subpoenas Bill and Hillary Clinton for Epstein testimony. They also issue subpoenas to several former attorneys general and FBI directors. This has just happened a few hours ago. This is a massive story, and they are demanding testimony related to horrific crimes perpetrated by Jeffrey Epstein. The investigative committee's Republican chair, James Comer, has sent the subpoenas in response to two motions lawmakers approved on a bipartisan basis last month. As Congress navigated the outrage among Donald Trump supporters over the Justice Department's announcement that it would not release further details about Jeffrey. The subpoenas now raise the possibility that more details will become public about senior politicians, leaders with Jeffrey. And last month, Wall Street Journal reported on the existence of the sexually suggestive sketch and lewd letter Trump sent to Epstein as a 50th birthday gift in 2003. And now we're seeing the onus bounce back to the Democratic mafia bosses. So they're saying here that some Trump supporters are up in arms because full transparency to the Epstein case has not been brought. Democrats have been moving to capitalize on this by pushing congressional Republicans into tricky votes intended to make the Epstein case files public. Shortly before House lawmakers left Washington, D.C. for Congress's August recess, Republican Congressman Scott Perry won an oversight subcommittee's approval to compel depositions from the Clintons and the former top federal law enforcement officials in a bid to reveal more about Epstein's activities. Democratic Congresswoman Summer Lee also successfully pushed the motion to subpoena Justice Department files related to the case. In addition to the Clintons, get ready for this, the committee sent subpoenas to former attorneys General Jeff Sessions, Alberto Gonzales, and William Barr. Look at the history of Jeffrey Epstein and the Barrs, folks, how he got his first job in the school, etc. William Barr served in George W. Bush and Trump's presidencies. Others named include Merrick Garland, Loretta Lynch, and Eric Holder, who served under Joe Biden, and Barack Obama. Former FBI directors James Comey and Robert Mueller also received subpoenas. In the letter to Bill Clinton, Comer noted that the former president had flown 4 times on Jeffrey's jet and repeated an allegation that he had pressured Vanity Fair not to publish the transportation claims regarding Jeffrey. The chair further says that Clinton was allegedly close with Ghislaine Maxwell. Given your past relationships with Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell, the committee believes that you have information regarding their activities that is relevant to the committee's investigation. In the letter to Hillary Clinton, Comer draws a more tenuous connection, writing, "Your family appears to have had a close relationship with both Jeffrey and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine. In addition to details about them, Comer notes that Clinton may have knowledge of efforts by the federal government to combat international human transportation operations of the type run by Mr. Jeffrey." Comer set Bill Clinton's deposition date as the 14th of October and Hillary's as the 9th of October. Others who received subpoenas were given dates ranging from mid-August through early October, while U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has until 19th of August to release documents related to the case. In addition to these subpoenas, Republican Congressman Thomas Massey and Democrat Ro Khanna are collecting signatures for a discharge petition to force a vote on legislation compelling release of the Epstein files. That vote is not expected to happen until the House returns from recess in early September. Trump has authorized the Justice Department to request release of the transcripts from the federal grand juries that indicted Jeffrey and Ghislaine, while last week Attorney General Deputy Todd Blanche interviewed Maxwell in Florida in what the White House said was a bid to uncover new details about the case. So there you have it, folks. The impression we were getting was that they wanted to make this case get out of the news, but now subpoenaing the Clintons. It is just running like crazy again, the story. Now, because the Epstein cover-up story is running like crazy again today, put a 1 in the chat if you think we should drop our David Icke podcast tomorrow about the Clinton cover-up at 9 a.m. The Epstein cover-up. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you think we should release the David Icke podcast later in the week. Seeing some 1s come in. Yeah, looks like it's all 1s. Right, it's a done deal, folks. I'm going to release it at 9 a.m. UK tomorrow, which means I'll have to put the Prince Andrew Royal Protection Officer one back a day to Wednesday. And maybe with this story blowing up again now, we should take another look at what David Icke said in the trailer. Let me get this up here for us, folks. Trailer David Icke. Here we go. Here we go. All right. And then I'll get back to this story. So, share this tab. Make it big. Make it big. I'm just going to show the Epstein stuff because there's a few more little bits I want to talk about on this story.
There are no files and it's all shut. Thank you, goodbye, nothing to see here. But it weren't long before he was flying his trade again in trying to make some excuse for why the files weren't being released. I mean, I think his first effort was that Trump was holding back the files because he was blackmailing the deep state. And then I saw another one where the question was, is Trump being blackmailed by the deep state? I mean, talk about disappearing up your own backside. When you've got to face the bloody facts. And they are that Epstein and Trump.
So the link for this one, which is coming out tomorrow, I shall put in the description box for this video because I know a lot of you watch it on the replay, but I will also right now put it in the live chat so you can set your alarms, set your notifications, because YouTube is going to try and suppress anything to do with David. It gets suppressed, doesn't it? So please help this one launch tomorrow. Here it is in the live chat right now. Please set your notifications, give it a like, give it a share, let the world know it's coming. This is the first time David Icke has done a long-form video on this subject, the Epstein cover-up. It was only filmed a few days ago. And if you're watching on replay, it is in the description box. So, I'm talking about the Clintons getting subpoenaed. And one of the Clintons' former spokespeople was just interviewed on Talk TV. And you should hear the utter claptrap that comes out of this guy's mouth. Oh, yeah. In 15 minutes, guys, we have got an ex-33rd degree Freemason coming on. And he is an absolutely brilliant speaker. And he's going to lay down the secret rituals and everything. It's going to be fascinating. But let's get back to the Clinton subpoena story. So this guy on the right, he's a mouthpiece for the Clintons. He's getting called out on Talk TV. Let's see what he has to say, shall we? What he's going to prattle on about.
Having me, and I was actually the spokesman for this committee for 6 years. But we did things like failures in weapon systems. We did real investigations on things that mattered and made a big.
So basically, he's saying the Jeffrey Epstein case doesn't matter, folks, from the get-go. The human transportation of children to predators is not as important as. What does he list?
Investigations on things that mattered and made a big difference on the Patriot missile and B-1 bomber and so forth.
So Patriot missiles and B-1 bombers are more important to this ex-Clinton spokesperson than the safety of children, folks. This is what the mindset of these people is. This is why nothing ever gets done about it. Military industrial complex doublespeak. Let's keep going.
But now they're into total politics. What this is, and I know the strategy is they want to subpoena the Clintons, and then when they don't cooperate, they're going to hit them with contempt, and then they'll use contempt as the issue, and that will be the big flood of news that they try to create.
Don't the Clintons look at the host. Oh, thank you, Amy, 21-month member. Look at the impatience and the frustration on the host's face. This guy on the right is saying, how dare they impeach, how dare they subpoena the Clintons? This is just purely political. It's like Maxwell saying, how dare you hold me in prison? I was covered under the sweetheart deal. They say these things to deflect from the main issue. The Clintons, Bill Clinton, I believe, I will allege, was way deeper in the mix with Jeffrey than Donald Trump. So this host now is going to call him out on this, and it's going to get more interesting because the guest is going to get really uncomfortable.
News that they try to create.
Don't the Clintons have questions to answer here? Don't the Clintons have questions to answer here, Robert? We know that by your own, one of the letter to Bill Clinton says, by your own admission, you flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane on 4 separate times. During one of these trips, you're even pictured receiving a massage from one of Mr. Epstein's victims.
Look, hitting him with hard facts. We've seen the flight logs, folks. We read them out years ago. All the East European girls and Bill. We spoke to Juliette Bryant. I'm speaking to her on X right now. She wants to come back on. And we've got our Epstein survivor Audra on tomorrow. We know all about Bill Clinton going all around the world with Jeffrey on a humanitarian mission. Let's see how he responds to getting called out.
And so Donald Trump is on at least 17 times in the files, according to the Wall Street Journal. And I'm sure that this committee is going to.
Suing?
They're good.
So immediately just doesn't talk about Bill, just deflects it right back to Trump. Yeah, Trump and Jeffrey were tight for over 10 years. And there's probably some embarrassing things that have happened there that Trump would rather not be made public. But I believe that it's Bill Clinton who went full on with Jeffrey, not Trump.
I'm sure they are going to subpoena all of Trump's work too, right? All of his involvement, that they had 1,000 FBI agents redacting all the famous people so that they wouldn't actually do the people that were the perpetrators. They would only keep the victims victimized. And that's what's coming out all over TV. And it's a tragedy, and it's a horrific tragedy.
It completely avoided answering the question about Bill's on the flights, etc. So let's see where the host goes next.
It is. But I just go back to my questions. I mean,
okay, that's aside from that, Mrs. Lincoln. How's the play?
No, it's not. It's the sense that saying you can talk about Donald Trump and that's all fine, but don't the Clintons
and all the victims being victimized more?
Yes,
and then
I totally accept.
Who was the AA? I know.
Look how twitchy. Look how twitchy what Wiener is getting.
What an AA does. An AA is the top assistant who expedites, because I've been AA to people.
Okay, I accept all of that.
Epstein stuff.
I'm not questioning any of that. I'm not
Okay,
necessarily saying it.
He just wants you to answer the goddamn question, Wiener.
It's not true. What I'm asking you is, don't the Clintons have questions to answer on this?
Doesn't Donald Trump have questions?
Oh, see, immediate deflection. Look at his lips, man, and his brow, his furrowed brow, his lips. He looks like a snake. Just gonna lash out and bite someone.
And this is deflection of the president.
You're deflecting, mate, you reptilian.
Deflecting because you're not answering my question, Robert. Don't the Clintons?
He's shook. He's shaking so much. He's dropped the camera off wherever he's got his camera position. Look at him sinking.
Have questions to answer here.
Are you shocked that Bill Clinton was a bad boy?
Oh my God! Listen to this now.
I mean, it's different being a bad boy. A bad boy is having an affair with an intern who's over the age of consent.
Right.
Thank you for the super chat, Amy.
Questions here about the fact that he was around a pedophile. I was
subpoenaed by Ken Starr to talk about that, let alone this kind of garbage.
Exactly. PDF file versus Monica Lewinsky trying to deflect.
I just think, yes, he can answer, but Donald Trump has to answer. He's the president, and this is deflection, and it's an attempt to deflect. That is what it is.
Okay.
Oh my God, says Mr. Deflection himself.
Robert, thank you. That's Robert Wiener there, former spokesman for the Clinton and Bush White Houses. Greg Swin.
Let's get rid of Wiener and see if this guy brings anyone else. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Maybe this guy will talk more sense. Let's see what he says.
Ask you the same question, Greg. Don't the Clintons have questions to answer?
I suppose they do. I mean, they've had a lot of baggage in their life, you know, going back to Whitewater scandal and the travel office scandal and all these other people that
hashtag Clinton body count
that have, you know, sort of been victims of the ambition of Bill and Hillary. And so I think they do. I mean, I can't, I'm surprised as anyone that they were subpoenaed, frankly, but and I
why are you
world,
surprised they've been subpoenaed?
I was quite surprised as well, because they are untouchable, but it's and it's just making the Epstein story go ginormous today.
I thought, you know, I thought if anything, the Epstein case was being kicked to the side. You know, that's been quite a controversy the last 3 or 4 weeks, Peter, you know, that a lot of the, you know, sort of real MAGA people that, you know, were really questioning the fact that they didn't release the files. And that's been a bit of a controversy. And then, of course, you had the Democrats pile onto that and saying, you know, they should release the files to the Justice Department. You know, this is after the Democrats sat on the files for 3 years while Biden was president. But I do think it's an issue that it isn't going away. But I'm surprised that they started with the Clintons, because it just seemed that, you know, if anything, they were trying to dial it down and hope it goes away. And I don't think that's working.
They've set the world on fire with this story now. It's headlines all over the UK here. I can't imagine how big it is in America. Everyone wants to see the Clintons be held to account. Yeah, they'll go through the motions, but they won't be held to account, folks, sadly.
Well, you're not going to dial something down by having depositions for Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton in front of the world's media. I mean, that is not going to go away. What about Trump himself? I mean, as Robert Wiener was pointing out there, he had at least as close a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein as the Clintons did.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's apples and apples. I mean, it's hard to say whether, you know, I can't compare the Clintons' relationship, especially Bill Clinton's. I haven't seen the specific numbers. You hear different ones. You hear, you know, that President Trump was on the plane 3 times. I know the Journal did a bit of an expose the Wall Street Journal did an expose a few weeks ago. So I don't know, but my guess is, again, I'm just guessing, that Bill Clinton spent a lot more time on Epstein Island or with Jeffrey Epstein. It looks like the president's interactions with him were all before anybody knew about any of the shenanigans that were going on, and President Trump, basically terminated the relationship, and it also kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of the country club, out of Mar-a-Lago. So I'm just guessing that Bill Clinton has a lot more baggage there than President Trump, and we'll see.
What do you think the level of pressure is on Donald Trump to release the DOJ, the Department of Justice files on Epstein here? Because, as you say, this has reared its head again.
Yeah, there's a ton of pressure on him. And I think, they reconsidered. I mean, it was a campaign promise. And then I think the Justice Department probably discovered the same kind of concerns that the Democrats had when they were in charge and decided not to release it. But it's it.
All right, enough of that, folks. We have got 4 minutes left, and then we have got the 33-degree Freemason, ex-Freemason, coming in. Let's go to the end of the David Icke trailer, because it does give me goosebumps. Let's hear what he says. So this one's coming out tomorrow, folks. Get ready for the 33rd degree Freemason. Here we go.
Astral dimension, which interpenetrates ours, are feeding off low vibrational human energy. And as the terror comes off the victim, they're feeding off it. Perception is, I'm just a human. I'm just the labels of human. Or I'm subject to some judgmental God.
All right, let me close that one. There we go. So when this stream ends, you will be transferred over to the podcast with the 33-degree Freemason. And let me just check. I'll just check right now if he's in the studio. So like I said, David Icke, 9 a.m. UK tomorrow. And then we have got Paul Page, ex-Royal Protection Officer, 9 a.m. on Wednesday. That is now going to be the order of the streams, the premieres this week. The Hidden Truth About Freemasonry Exposed with Dr. Bill. I watched another video he did. It's got 5 million views, folks. Let me see if he is in the studio. Yeah, he is most certainly in the studio. He's there right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream, and we are going to go over to our friend to talk about the Freemasons. So when this video ends, folks, it will take you automatically over. If it does not, then just click on the channel icon and we will be live. All right. Thank you for tuning in for this one. Hope to see you in the next one.